Hello everyone, I Anushri Sandhya welcome you all to the Little Ambassador Summit. We have Mansi here with us as a speaker and we so glad she made up to speak for the summit. We can start by Mansi introducing herself.
Hi, Anushri. Thank you for inviting me for this summit. It's so important that we start having these conversations. Hi, everyone. I'm Mansi Poddar. I'm a Kolkata-based psychotherapist, and I do a lot of work with children, parents, and families. My primary work is with childhood trauma, so working with adults who've experienced trauma in their childhoods, especially adverse childhood experiences. So this is a great topic to talk about. Over to you,
Thank you
Anushri.
so much for being a speaker here. So let's start and take up our questions as how can parents secure a free and a safe, secure environment for the children?
Okay, so this is a question which I think I can spend all day and night answering. To put it simply, children need stability, security, and safety, the 3S, as I like to call it. It's very important that you ensure that they are safe physically, emotionally, and psychologically. And you need to ensure that other household members also contribute to that, especially in Indian homes where there are joint families. So a parent might be a great attachment figure, but sometimes the dadi or another relative might not. So you need to advocate for your child. I think that is one of the most important things.
Right. Also, how to control the anger of the child as when the child is angry, they start to destroy a few things, they'll start breaking things around. They also try to hit somebody or hit themselves as well. So, how to stop
Right.
and control that?
Okay. So all emotions are messengers. And one must understand that a child is not at the development of an adult. So a child's brain is still developing. And it's not anger as how we adults see it. It's not adult anger. A child's anger is actually their nervous system's way of discharging energy. So you must shift the way you look at a child's anger. They're trying to communicate. So you need to ask yourself, first you need to ground, you need to calm yourself down. So as a mom, I know that when my kids get angry, I'm getting super activated, and I've learned to recognize that in my own body. Take that few seconds to just say, okay, this is a baby, this is a child, this is not, say, my husband or my parent here. And then you reach out to the kid and you validate what's going on for them. In their own baby way, they're trying to tell you that, mom or dad, this is what I'm struggling with. So tell them that, you can use phrases like, shh, I'm here with you. Let's talk about this. Kya hua? Bolo. Stroke their back, physically, hold them. Or even sometimes just let them, cry, scream, throw themselves on the floor. Because what you're doing is you're letting the child complete a physical cycle that they are in. They're discharging emotion. Sorry, what my cold. It's really nasty, I know. So they're discharging emotion. That's what anger really is. And if you want your child to see, we cannot say you can't have anger. Anger is a normal emotion. It's like hunger. You will be angry, you will be hungry. Anger says my boundaries have been broached. Something has occurred to me that's not correct. So, see, look for the messages in anger and redefine what angry means. Also, children often learn anger from the family. So, seeing how you're modeling angry outbursts. So, if you're screaming a lot, your child might also learn that when I'm angry, I can scream. So that's what I would
Role
like to tell
modeling thing,
parents in
right?
a,
Parents
yeah,
have
like
to.
in a nutshell, that keep your cool, learn to modulate your own anger. Maybe I'll just throw in a little bit of science. It's called interpersonal neurobiology, which means that I can regulate my child's emotion by regulating my own emotion. So it's a right brain to right brain communication. Like, I don't want to go into the science. People can Google this. And by you modulating your breathing, you grounding, you holding the child, you'll find that your child starts to calm down.
Right. Okay.
So
Also, how can a parent have a good attachment with the child and also good connection? As children tend to just hide away things and they don't open up well.
okay, so this actually, there are two parts to this question. One is you're talking about what we call in our language secure attachment.
Right.
So secure attachment starts developing right from conception. This is attachment that's based on a caregiver or caregivers tuning into a child. So you don't let the child just cry it out. You're not aggressive with the child. You are tuning into the child. Like I mentioned previously, you're asking the child, what's going on for you? Obviously, in baby language, we can't tell them, what's going on for you. They don't know that. But we're teaching them about emotions. We are working as an emotion coach. So that's how we start to build attachment. And if, say, later on you want your child to be open with you, remember that the small stuff that they're sharing with you is very important. So if they come and tell you, ki, Mama, I threw a pebble and it hit my toe, they're sharing something with you. If they say, I don't like this, Mama, I want to eat ice cream, they're communicating. So listen to them, turn towards the child, talk to the child, and slowly you will build a base where they will communicate. And one thing I would like to tell parents, avoid giving children lectures.
Right.
Oh, don't do this, you should do this. Definitely set guidelines. I'm not saying be super permissive, that's not healthy either. But listen to your kid, talk to your kid. You'll be surprised at how wise children are. So if I get burnt out at work, I go to my kid and I say, I'm so burnt out. I don't feel like working. I'm tired. And he told me, he said, Mama, the problem with you is you only think of us. Start thinking of how many hours you want to work. First, you decide that. I was like, yeah, I'm always confused about my hours. So do you see, like, include the kids in communication, make it two-way.
Right. Also, how can parents help to increase or boost up the self-esteem and the self-confidence of the child?
Okay, so I find this word very loaded and overused, self-esteem. Now, self-esteem, there are, as we currently understand it, I would like people to deconstruct this word, maybe go to therapy, figure out what this term really means. In the whole hope of boosting a child's self-esteem, we tend to make them feel very superior, and we can actually drive them down the wrong way. So I would like to say, if you want your child to have a healthy sense of self, which is a more attainable and healthier goal, I think validate the hard work. So point out the things they did to achieve what they did. Not, oh, you are such a good student, but see, you gave your homework in time, you worked hard, and you, sorry, I just need to, got this horrid cold, right? Oh, sorry. Not pleasant, I know. So validate the steps that went into it versus just the end behavior. And also recognize that your voice becomes the child's sense of self. And that's something parents forget. So if we keep telling a child that, you need to lose weight, they're going to grow up with fat phobia. They're going to grow up with body issues. So our internal voice is their internal voice many of the times. So is that voice going to be a voice of superiority or a voice of self-respect and, self-love, but self-love in a modulated, not narcissistic way? So how we speak to the kid, validate behaviors that you want to increase, behaviors that led to great outcomes, and also talking to the kid when they do something, sort of asking them, how do you think the other person felt? So that is empathy training. So getting them to think about somebody else, but at the same time, also listening to them and validating their emotion. So all emotions are valid, but not all behaviors are. But we parents often get it all mixed up. We think emotions are not valid, but every emotion is valid. So when we validate that, children do develop a healthy sense of self.
Great. Last question. So, what is your go-to motto or what is your philosophy that you use?
My go-to is, we underestimate the power of compassion in action with our children. We try to always create people who will be the next Indira Yogi or Elon Musk or something like that. But we forget that we are actually raising children for relationships, not for careers. So relationships with the self, with others, and the world. And that is my parenting philosophy, that my children are being raised for relationships.
Great. Thank you so much for an informative session from your side.
Thank you so much for inviting me, Anushri. Sorry about all the sniffling.
No problem.